So here is the speech I did on October 12th that was just dripping with hate.
Arigato. 来てくれてありがとう。私は清さん主義とこのまとめで打つとは12345678910セーラームーンです。あなたにすげて嬉しいです。
My supporter fell out during the assassination. That's an important lesson during assassinations. Fasten your beers very close, or they will spill from your pockets.
All right, Ryan, you can get up. Go. You broke my fucking sword! I'm sorry, dude. That was not an assassination. That was a reenactment of an assassination that happened, I think, 58 years ago tonight. October 12th, 1960, Japan's Socialist Party was making waves. It was a guy, Injiro, what was his name? His name was Injiro Horotosha. It's ironic that he was stabbed because all their names sound like someone is being stabbed. His name could have been like, if you say Mark Smith, Mark Smith. But he was actually a right-wing guy, that Inajiro, the guy we just killed.
Right-wing Anoka Ikunamade.
And then he became socialist. He grew up without parents. And Parenta dinashas?
Yeah, it's cognate.
They have the word parent in their word for parent?
Yeah.
Seems kind of anglicized.
A little bit, yeah. That's my complaint with it too. It's anglicized as well.
My understanding is there's no correlation with English and Japanese. It's just weird that parent would make it.
Just coincidence. Yeah.
I understand like Skittles. Skittles. Michael Jackson.
Right.
Parents just seems weird that parents would make it in.
I didn't write the language.
Okay. So he was a right-winger, and then that young boy, Otoya Yamaguchi, me in this scenario.
Otoya Yamaguchi, no.
Haji Fuf?
Yeah.
I just said like 3 sentences. You said the name and you went Haji Fuf.
A very utilitarian language.
No, it's not. You have to use a paintbrush to write it. It's the least utilitarian language I've ever seen.
Speaking it.
Do you know Japanese?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the word parent is in Japanese, and sometimes you can say 3 sentences and it's just 2 words in Japanese.
Sometimes? She's right.
Just seems a little curious. Sorry about that, folks. A little glitch here with my translator, just still trying to figure stuff out. And Otoya Yamaguchi was obviously captured for that assassination and killed himself in prison. I don't know why he killed himself. What do you hate, blowjobs? What are you doing? I understand if you go buy a superhero cape, but I'm killing myself? Okay. That's Chinese now.
That's Chinese? Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'm sorry about this, guys. I know you paid money to be here. And it's hard to vet translators because you don't speak the language. What is I would like to get a sandwich on Thursday?
샌드위치에 하루 쿠키네
Okay.
닭모소, yeah.
And now count to 5.
이치, 니, 산, 시, 고, 시지, 쿠주.
White people know Japanese more than you. That's how shit your Japanese is. Now repeat, I would like to get a sandwich on Thursday.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, you know what? Go.
Okay.
Let's, before we totally abandon the Otoya meme, this is October 12th, big day. Oh, it's fizzy. When you assassinate people, your beers get fizzy. Never let evil take root. To October 12th. And to Otoya Yamaguchi. If he was dead and looking down at that, I bet he'd think that's really fucking cool. Like, I'm dead for 58 years. I check in on New York, and there's a big room of people going, Otoya was the greatest, yeah. That's a real ego boost up in heaven. He's probably cool with the other angels now. So that's the show. Thank you for coming, and I wish you nothing but... No, I brought it up because I think evil is taking root in America with socialism, and I think for the first time ever we have the DNC saying they prefer socialism to the free market. And that's got to be a new one. I just saw the other day there was some environmentalists saying that the secret to climate change, the way to solve this problem, is to dismantle capitalism. And I realized when I read that, I don't even know what the hell that means. How do you dismantle capitalism? And then I realized I don't know what any of what they say means. Like, I'm open to hear what you got to say. I know what pedophiles think. They think little kids are sexy. Gotcha. Strongly disagree, but I gotcha. But when they say, like with the Kavanaugh thing, you go, I'm trying to understand what the hell you're talking about. What world do you want? Do you want a world where random accusations mean no Supreme Court judge? Okay, so let's do it. Now, if any Supreme Court judge nominee gets a random accusation and there's no evidence whatsoever, he's not the Supreme Court judge nominee. That's the new thing? That's like saying you throw a cream pie in some guy's face and he's no longer the Supreme Court nominee. I don't understand what they want. Like the letter, the manifesto, gong, 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 that was nailed to this door last night is such a perfect example of students overstudying and not having a job. I'm sure Lenin did that sometime in 1936, just gong, 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 and then we left it there. That's such a bookie thing to do, you know? It's not a real life thing to do. And when I read this thing, I was reading a Columbia student's dissertation that goes on and uses their weird verbiage that none of us use, like hegemony and stuff. I think I have it on my phone. But it ended with, it's funny how they talk about being part of the working class and helping, you know, the working man get together, and they sound like a bunch of poncy fags. Like this line at the end. The U.S. fascist political system is one of the most savage institutions in history, and we will combat it relentlessly until we are all free of American barbarism. American barbarism? Is that like shitting with the door open? Oh, Lord. not your soup spoon, you fool. Oh, sorry. I thought this is a spoon closer to my soup bowl. No! What a piece of white trash. I got doxxed recently, and I was listening to some of the messages, and I would call them back and talk to them. And they're like, yeah, you're white trash, white boy. Why don't you go back to Europe, white boy? You probably got 13 toes, you inbred piece of white trash. And I'm like, you sound like the KKK. Like this whole idea that a group are a bunch of disgusting human garbage and need to be extinguished. I thought that's what you guys hate. You sound like a classist snob who dips his handkerchief in perfume when he walks by the homeless and goes, oh, Lord. Look at that American barbarism. With those stupid wigs. I was just at Tommy Robinson's trial in London. I'm like, take off those fucking wigs. So, Lord Magistrate, all rise. And they've got a lesbian geriatric crew cut. And then they had rollers in their hair here. And you're like, maybe update that a little bit. You're a grown man in an old lady lesbian wig. If I could speak to the court, please, for a moment. Fuck off. I want to talk to this British barbarian, Tommy Robinson. But anyway, in the thing, you're reading it, and you're like, I don't understand you guys. Like, I honestly, I feel like a high school teacher saying, show me your work. Because you can't just say a thing like, no Nazis, no KKK in New York. I've had it with the Klan in New York. And you're like, sounds good. Show me your work. Show me. I'm out with the kids in Times Square, and they're just like, well, looky here, boys. We got some Negroes thinking they can have a drink at Applebee's. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves, sir. Oh, look at that. Big talker. Big talker. Don't you ever show your face around Applebee's, Negro. I feel like I can just read their thing and go, guess what? I'm magic. Everything you ask for, I'll make happen. Okay, good. Thanks so much. My first wish, no KKK in New York City. Boom. All right, well, now I'm getting greedy. I want equal rights for women. Whew. Okay, I'm like Storm in X-Men. Done. All right, well, this one's a doozy. Black people are being hunted by the police for sport. What? That's insane. That's like, if that was a horror movie, you'd go, this is stupid. I'm not watching this. This doesn't make any sense. This is like a weird KKK Nazi horror movie. I'm not watching that. You gotta have a believable premise. So like a black person would just be like buying something, some kale at the grocery store and just, got him. Move a little to the right next time. Down, down. All right, so you don't want cops hunting black people for sport anymore. Ready? What do you want? I don't know what you want. I don't know what the gay pride parade is. We're here in the West Village and we're queer. Yeah, I know. I'm in the West Village. I have to wear rubber boots because I get cum soakers when I walk down the street. And if I don't like it, I can leave. By the way, no disrespect to the homosexuals, but we gave Jews Israel. You had an area, it was fine. And they were like, this is our area. They built a wall. I love the wall. I'm a wall guy. I'm a Trump guy. I'm a Wallosaurus Rex. Build a wall. Build a wall. Build a wall. I was in Israel with the guy who built the wall, and he's got like, I forget his name, but it's one of those names that's Israeli, but they make it cool, like Rodney, but it's actually It's like, I'm Rodney, dude. And he's like, people, they say this wall is ugly with the big, huge 9 meters of concrete, but that's only 5 miles, 5% is the big concrete. And I know it's ugly. And I'm like, dude, shh. My only problem with this wall is that it's not riddled with pocket pussies. Because I'm in love. That's the only complaint. Every 9 meters. And then you just be like, look away, sorry. It'd be like going pee. Sorry, don't look. By the way, as a little side thing, isn't it kind of weird if someone hates your wall? Like, that's like your neighbors getting mad that you have 10 deadbolts. Why do you care? Were you coming over here? I just think it's too much security. Okay. How did you even know that I have a bunch of deadbolts? I saw the contractors coming by. I just think it should be open. No, it's not. Actually, I'm getting more deadbolts now. But then you go to these nut bars outside who are screaming, what's the matter now? You can't hear?
Yeah, you can't hear. There's the volume knob on the...
Hello, hello, how's that? It's a room of like 100 people. I shouldn't even need a microphone.
Turn it up. Project. Turn it up.
That's emasculating, having a black man come down and... Project, you pussy white motherfucker! But when I read these things, I go, okay, so what do you want? Like, I'm open-minded. And that's what's great about America is it's predicated on the First Amendment. The whole reason this place exists is because those stupid British fools promoted free speech and said, you should be rebellious, you know. You should stand up for yourself. You should have a bunch of different magazines all up the East Coast that have Republican, Democrat, all kinds of things, and argue about it and get to the truth and stand up for yourself. And we went, okay, you need to get the fuck out of here. Oh my Lord! American barbarism! And they left. I think the First Amendment is more important than the Second Amendment. Because with the First Amendment, you can say, more guns, less crime. I know it's counterintuitive, but it works. So with the First Amendment, you get to everything else. Like, women deserve equal rights. Yes, thank you. They got him. Gavin did that with his lightning hands. This is a new anniversary, actually. There's October 12th, where Otoya Yamaguchi killed that socialist. Yeah. But it's also the day that women got equal rights in America. Yeah. Ladies, get ready to vote. You're about to go in a voting frenzy. Yeah. The Japanese Socialist Party, the guy that I killed a second ago, is still going. They're called the Democratic Socialists right now. And that's a big group in New York. Those are the ones that chased our boy Chadwick and Milo Yiannopoulos out of a restaurant. I think these two might be spies. They don't seem very enthusiastic about my quotes. You paid $20 to spy? You should be careful because you might accidentally get red-pilled. You're playing a dangerous game. The truth might seep in. I feel like Darth Vader. Feel the force around you. The power is strong with you, young Antifa spies. He made some good points, but I hated most of them. But the Socialist Party, socialism is doing great in America right now, and I'm totally confused by it. I don't know what they want. I don't know how they can't see the carnage. I don't know how they can't see Venezuela and Cuba, and they just focus on that white bastion of hope, like a bunch of Nazis. I gotta watch how I position my hand. That white bastion of hope, Scandinavia. Guys, Northern Europe made their money when they were pro-free market. They're now spending it like spoiled brats. They're literally spending their parents' money. So socialism isn't as bad in Sweden as it is in Venezuela, but they're heading there real fast. So I'm totally confused by this love of socialism, and I think it comes from kids not having jobs, not talking to people, not having speeches like this. It comes from not communicating. Like I feel like saying, haven't you talked to anyone? You don't have to go to Iraq. Haven't you talked to a soldier that's been to Iraq? You want to talk about American barbarism? I talked to a soldier there who just saw some dudes just on the street cutting a dog's ears off. I'm sorry to laugh. I'm very macabre. I've been living in New York for 20 years. And then it's like, "Arr!" and then it runs away bleeding, and they go, ha 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 ha. Different culture. I'm not a fan. And the irony is, every time they accuse us of something, you go, well, that's not a Western thing, that's them. The other. I know the liberals hate when you say otherness. I'm fine with it. Actually, liberals are the other too. I don't have to separate West and East. I can separate New York City. But John Mayer was doing a talk recently, and he said, I'm sick of this contract men have, where they think they can just go up and have any woman they want. You're thinking of David Lee Roth, and you're 25 years late. The reason Lenny and Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley go like this, oh, when she walks by, is because you can't have her. Robert Crumb talks about day ruiners, where you see a girl and you go, I'll never have her, great. Fucking great. That ass is someone else's, and I'm never gonna see it again. It was like two bowling balls that were best friends in denim, and it's gone forever. You don't go, hey, I like that. Hello. Hey, nice tits, lady. Tune in Tokyo. Hey, Darren, come over here. You gotta feel these things. They're fucking real. And she's just like, please stop the insanity. They had a whole women's march about it, where they go, you know what? You can't grab my pussy. Yeah, I know. What do you think I am, a refugee in Germany? All your bad guy stuff is right there. All the stuff you're accusing me of is right there. I got your transphobia. I got your homophobia. I got your sexism. It's all right there. And you're like, I don't know about that culture. It's a different culture. All right. Well, let me tell you something. Gays can't fly, and that guy is dying. I don't know his background. He could have been a dick. Maybe he was a racist. Maybe they throw racists from buildings, and some of them are just gay. At least that's a theory. If Antifa was to say that to me, I go, all right, at least I now get your point. I don't get the fucking point. They talk about concentration camps in America. And you go, what? Where? Who's renting this land? They should... All right, here's the deal. If you're gonna kill trannies on my lot, you clean up after you're done. I heard that like when you burn people, there's all kinds of fat, body fat. I don't want that fucking shit on. Okay, shoot them in the head, put them in bags, I don't know. Okay, deal. Look, we're having a lot of trouble getting these extermination camps. And thank you for renting it to us, Joey Buttafuoco. But I've seen that, like, we're exaggerating and I'm being crazy, but you can't be crazy enough. Like I saw this thing, it was in a school and it said, I stand behind my immigrant students. I kind of get that. All right, so this is an illegal, you know him, it's Jose, you've had him all year, he's your buddy, and ICE comes and goes, sorry, he's got to go. You're like, fuck that, I'm going to fight for it. That's kind of admirable. I appreciate it. Gotcha. That's a point. You showed me your work, I gotcha. I stand behind my students of color. In case of what? And then it gets crazier. They go, I stand behind my disabled students. So the NYPD goes into PS 84 and they're like, lady, you got 2 gimps in the back here, sorry. You're not taking them. And they're like, what the fuck's going on? You're done. Not that you should kill anyone who's any kind of handicapped, but I'm very cognitive. I just have a thalidomide. I'm a thalidomide. I don't hear your story. I'm just doing my job, all right? Get off the fucking chair. Hold on to the little skinny legs. And the teacher's like, no, get off of me. That's the other crazy thing. That in that insane world they created, you're not going to stand in their way. You just created an insane Trump Gestapo that wants to kill handicapped people. You think they care about some fat boomer who's like, not on my watch? You created a science fiction hell movie. You're dead. They're going to come in through the ceiling, take all the handicapped kids, and then, I don't know, like throw dynamite up their ass. No, they're not. Saw Eric Holder saying, when they go low, we kick them. I like that. Let's get low. Let's be disgusting. Let's make some fucking jokes. Can we kill a dead guy who ran Japan's Socialist Party, please? It happened 58 years ago. Relax. That is my beef with the right, is they're just so sacred and they're so pure and they're so careful never to offend, never to make the wrong jokes. They're so worried about interpretation. And you're dealing with mentally ill people. It's not like you'll make a joke and then they'll say, he wants trans disabled children to die in a fire. That's not even in the same universe as what I said. So why appease them? And you see this from the paleocons, from National Review, the guys who have never had a threesome, never been in a fight, never done heroin. And they get super giddy on pot. And you see them go, when you say the word cunt, have you noticed that about paleo-conservatives? I'm Canadian. Cunt is like, guy. You're a cheap cunt. It's your round. Or at the very least, people of the right, let us scum in. You need us foot soldiers. You need us disgusting, rude jerks. Because outside of the swears and the drugs and the violence, and quite a list actually, outside of all the things you disagree with, we have a lot in common. And what we have in common is we both want America to prosper. We both want Trump to do well. And even though a lot of us poo-pooed traditionalism in our youth and got wasted and had sex and made a ton of mistakes and got divorced, even though we did all that, a lot of us are coming around and going, whoa, we literally threw the baby out with the bathwater. We want kids. We want a housewife. We want to come home to a lady. I will throw Islam one bone. Actually, they have some good points. Women are always driving slow in the fast lane. Get them off the roads. I'm sick of seeing cars pass you on the slow lane. If you need to drive, go find, I forget the word they use in Islam. It's like a booby. It's like a male mentor. And she's like, can I drive to the store? And he's like, yeah. But go in the fucking slow lane if you're going to go slow. Thank you. That sounds awesome. Also, I don't like walking around Williamsburg with a boner. It goes back to that day ruiners thing I was talking about. I'm done with pretty girls. I'm married. All you do is ruin my day. I want you in a polyester bag. I'm sick of cleavage and bee-stung lips and mile-high cheekbones. Get them covered up. And this one's a bit rich, but it does seem kind of awesome that you get to beat your wife with a stick that's just bigger than a toothbrush if she won't fuck you. Actually, if I tried that, I would be hospitalized. It's in the Quran. But the best part, I would think, of Islam is these women, they're covered up all day, so when they're at home, they're like, finally I can shine. And it's Yves Saint Laurent, stilettos and makeup, and their hair's all done. It's like the Academy Awards, and they're vacuuming in stilettos, like, oh, you're finally home, check me out. That seems kind of awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're a Saudi prince and she has access to great outfits. But I think we have learned the hard way. You know, there's sort of two groups with conservatives. There's ones born and raised conservatives, and I think a lot of Proud Boys, and I know me personally, we're sort of expats. We were liberals, we were partiers, we were deplorable in a literal sense. We were degenerates, is the word I was looking for. And then we had kids and went, wow, these are cute, and I'm too old to do cocaine anymore. Why did I wait so long? Trust me, dude. Hang on. You're about to get hangovers that make AIDS feel like Disneyland. You're about to get hangovers where they're interesting. You're like, wow, I'm experiencing the most pain a human's ever felt. I'm dying. My molecules are falling off of my bones. And then we start looking into it and we go, wow, there was some real merit to traditionalism. All this stuff we threw out. Like I was talking to a turkey farmer yesterday, of all people. It's very important to talk to a lot of different people. Charles Murray predicted this in Coming Apart. He said, you gotta get out there. You gotta talk to rich people, poor people. You gotta fraternize. You gotta have speeches. You can't shut down conversation. Talk to the cab driver. A cab driver on the way here was talking to his wife the whole time. We missed out on a whole great conversation. We want community. So I'm talking to this turkey farmer, and she says, you know, when I was a girl and I needed money, my dad would go, oh, you need money? Okay, cool. So he would go to the local market, whatever, and he'd start asking around. He'd find some old lady who needed her living room painted and was willing to pay, you know, modern equivalent of $20. And so she would go, and she would paint that woman's living room after her dad told her how to do it and showed her, like, here's a sponge, you gotta wash the wall first, which I don't really agree with. Aren't you just covering it in paint? There's a thumbprint under the paint, who cares? It's a curtain. Now she would talk to that old lady as she was painting that wall. And she would get to know her, and that old lady would tell her about, you know, Boston Street, how it was 100 years ago. She could tell her about this club. Oh, this club's from 1930. Incredible time for New York. You know, we were between the wars. We had the Empire State Building and the Great and the Chrysler Building bought under budget in a year and a half. It was a very exciting, vibrant time for New York City. Then the war hit. New York State lost 500,000 people. Oh, that's interesting, old lady. Can you leave me alone now while I try to fucking paint? What a chatterbox. Then you'd get that money, and then you'd go spend it at the local, I don't know what these old people did when they were young. Didn't they go to drive-in food places where some lady would come out with roller skates? What a weird history you boomers have. All right, everyone's ready? It's Friday. Let's eat a hamburger in our car. Served to us by roller skate ladies. But whatever, they did what they did. And that money stayed in the community. Now we have this sort of transient culture where we don't know who's mowing our lawn, and they get the money and then they send it back with Western Union. And every time, just like that story where she was painting the old lady's living room, it was building the fabric of a society. And when we do the opposite and we just have strangers do all our odd jobs, we rip apart that society. And that's what's happening. We're tearing apart the fabric of society so much that you can make up lies and straw men and go, there's actually a Nazi from the Klan doing a talk tonight in New York. What? Yeah, he wants genocide. He wants to kill disabled kids. How? Wouldn't the parents object to that? Hey, man, it's genocide. And if the left can shut down discussion, they can shut down the narrative, they can control the narrative, and they gain power. And I've always said that's what political correctness is. It's someone telling you how to talk. Oh, it's not black now, it's person of color. Oh, it's not person of color, it's African American. Black people don't even know this. Like, no one told us. I've been saying black. Oh, you gotta check in with your boss. You're not allowed to call yourself that anymore. Now you're an African American person of color. Is there an acronym for that? Because that sounds kind of long. Yeah, ABUPUC. So, I think we're at a point now in America where people who have normal dad beliefs, like me, like you, can be twisted into having some sinister agenda that's apocalyptic and evil and must be stopped with violence. And that is a socialist mentality. That is a communist mentality. I don't want you to talk to that person. I want to dehumanize that person so you can kill them and you just killed a piece of garbage. You know, at Mike Cernovich's last thing, there was this guy who was leaving, Jewish guy, kind of classical liberal, Dave Rubin type of dude. And the police go, you got to wait for a car and we'll take you out. And he goes, what? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not a Nazi. So he goes, I'm just going to walk down the street. So he walks down the street. Antifa, excuse me! You're a lawyer, for Christ's sakes. Pretend it's a court of law, you dunce. You were there? Oh, really? By the way, I love how it's advocating violence if you clap when a guy punches a guy who was murdering an old man. She should have just sat there and took it, like Jesus Christ. But he punched that guy, they got a heart attack, and then the Antifa dude put the cops in a headlock. Like the cop's gonna go, all right. God, I didn't know you were that mad. Tap out. That kid could be facing 16 years. But the rhetoric and the lack of free speech and lack of discussion dehumanizes people until they don't think they're killing some old dude who is leaving a thing. They think they're killing Hitler as a baby in his crib. And there's definitely an argument for Hitler as a baby in his crib, but that's not Hitler. And I've talked to these people and I said, can I get you on my show or can we discuss this? I don't understand. I don't even know what the fuck you want. And they go, sorry. Genocide doesn't deserve a debate. I'm not Pol Pot. I bet even with Pol Pot, he would go, I'm going to be killing a lot of people. And his side guys were like, are you out of your fucking mind? You're going to start killing everyone? Like, I bet even the people surrounding Stalin and Mao and Hitler and Pol Pot and all these genocidal maniacs, I bet some of them are going, wait, you're serious? And by the way, they were all socialists. Never let evil take root. The socialists are taking root in America, and that mentality dehumanizes people until they are disposable. The reason genocide is in their vocabulary, and they bring it up with you even though you've never said it once in your life, is because it's in their vocabulary. And we've seen it with Stalin, 30 million. We've seen it with Mao, 70 million. We've seen it with that socialist Hitler with 6 million. We keep seeing these socialists play God. And God laid this out for us. He said, I've designed you perfectly. Just open the gates, do whatever you want, you'll be fine. Kill murderers, obviously, and pedophiles. But don't tell other people how to live. I've made you great. But when you have these despots, these dictators who say, no, I'm going to tell people how to live, I'm going to play God, millions of people die. So I'll close with saying what I always say, which is politics is two groups of people. People who want to be left alone and people who want to leave them the fuck alone. Why do those socialists with the curiously mass-produced signs outside, isn't that kind of weird? how all the signs look the same? And then they go, I didn't get my Soros check. Yeah, they don't trickle down to you, dummy. They stay with the sign producers. They're 2 echelons up. It's curious that we criticize socialism and then socialist Democrats have these perfectly made signs, but those are the people who won't leave us the fuck alone. We're having a talk here. What are we doing? It's an idea. Lauren Southern is banned from England for what? The words that come out of her mouth? It's not X-Men. They're not fire. They can't kill you. It's a little blonde woman with an insane ass. A day ruiner, if you will. The kind of ass that should be in a burqa. Ironically. But this fight, World War II, World War I, we've been fighting socialism and communism forever. I don't understand why. I honestly don't. I guess because it's a good sell if you're incurious and illiterate and someone says everyone gets everything and you go, that sounds good. But how low is your IQ to go, I get a thing? I like that thing. No, you don't get a thing. You don't get a Porsche. After the revolution, I've seen on their chat rooms, like, after the revolution, I'd like to design uniforms for the Red Guard. Yeah, so would I. Sounds cool. I'd put like a gun in your sleeve. Infrared things on your hat that just go shoo. That's what 12-year-old boys do when they draw. They make cool killing uniforms. So, we want to be revolutionary. We want to anger those people outside. They think this is the KKK. They think this is Nazis to have a talk about traditional values and consider them. By the way, these are not dictums. I'm not Mao. When I say most women would be happier at home, or maybe learn a trade, or we should support free speech, or the Second Amendment is an integral part of this country, these are my ideas. I'm not enforcing them upon anyone. You can take them or leave them. And what these people outside want to do, what these communists want to do, is prevent you from taking them. Now, if you don't want someone to take something, that's because you want to give it to them. You want to handle their thought process. You want to handle their beliefs. Well, I'm sorry. We tried that. It didn't work. We kicked out the British. We killed the Nazis. We built the greatest country in the world. America does not need a reboot. We're not starting over again. You can come along for the ride or get the fuck off the road. God bless USA. And God bless Otoya Yamaguchi.